Hey everybody, so here's a little garden update. We got a bit of a rainy day going on, so it's a little drizzly right now, but maybe we can show you a few things here. Let's try. Alright, so switching things around, we have our tomatoes here. So what we've basically done this year is we've moved things around. So you'll notice here against the back we have our cherry tomatoes, and they're growing very well in this new area here. I just have to stake them up now. I just have to do some staking up. But they're doing well here against this back wall of the house. Last year I had them over here against the back fence, but then as the trees and everything else grew around it, it was hard to get back there and stuff. So we're moving them here. The other thing too is this usually was peppers and eggplants, but this year we're putting tomatoes here, and they're growing very well too. You'll notice that they have some nice flowers, they're growing high. So yep, trying to keep them in check, get some growth out of them. They look to be strong and healthy. And again, it's the end of April here coming up, so it's not hot yet, but we'll get there soon enough. And then here we got eggplants and peppers. So this used to be herbs last year. I'm just moving things around. We're putting some herbs here, so basil and dill and stuff like that is growing, which is great. But here we got the eggplants. These are white eggplants, and they seem to be doing pretty good. They're getting bigger. They need to start growing up, so you need to kind of prune them from the side shoots so that we can get some forward growth, you know, so that they'll get bigger on the, you know, grow up rather than grow out, and then they can grow out later. So when you kind of look here, you kind of look to see, okay, well, where can I prune them with some of the side shoots right now, because I just want more height on it. So I'm just going to take them out, if you can see that here. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I do the same, you do the same with the tomato plants too. You kind of get those side shoots, so you get higher growth if you want. Banana plants, took them out of the garage because they would freeze in the cold, but they seem to be coming back. So we'll see if we get some dwarf tomato plants. These are sweet potato vines that the store started to have sweet potatoes kind of early, so I got some of them. And here is some pepper plants that are getting covered by the parsley, so I'm going to pick some parsley here, so that way the peppers plants aren't covered up and get some sun. Got a little tomato plant there in a container, as well as a little tomato plant there in a container. So that's been going fairly well. I'm going to put this parsley down here so I can do some other things right now. Okay, so I have some kind of ghost peppers here in containers that I put in, and here's a blueberry bush that I've had, and there's little blueberries on it. So you know, it's small, and blueberries are a little bit more difficult in Texas because of the heat, but these supposedly might be heat resistant, so we'll see if those continue to grow. My gooseberries died. They got overheated last year and got a little disease, and those are challenging for sure in Texas because of the heat. As we swing around, you'll notice that some of the stuff we've done here is we have this black mesh, black tarp, because we're tired of the weeds. You know, throughout all the years that I've been doing this, I've been putting mulch down to kind of like kill the weeds, suffocate the grass and stuff like that, but everything just still comes back through it. So basically I said this year, let's try putting this black fabric down. It's breathable, so water gets through it, but you know, the weeds can't grow through it. So we're going to try this and keep it, you know, just like it is, and it makes a nice walking path that makes clean lines and keeps the weeds down, and so that'll be good. So far so good, right? Some of the other things here that we got going is onions. They're definitely getting big. You can see one I pulled up here that's got a nice onion bulb to it. So we got some white and some yellow and some purple onion over here. They're getting ready to be pulled, so you know, we can pull some once they get big, and off we go. That's been good. And then we'll plant some other stuff here for the onions. The gooseberries, the goji berries, they always do good. The plant gets huge and big with these long new branches and stems, so it's done really well. I got some new seedlings out that I'm going to plant. These are cucumbers here. So if I come in close, they just started to sprout, so I got them outside to get some natural light and sun. But once they get a little bit bigger, then I'll transplant them to like I did before. Here I've got eggplant again in containers. I had some extra eggplant, and I'm going to prune the side shoots here too. Okay, and some ghost peppers and another eggplant. So we like eggplants, and so here comes the rain even harder now, so I might have to go for cover. Yeah. Let me show you what I got over here. Is 2 of the cucumber plants already coming up, so they're slowly but surely starting to come up and get green. And then these are the potatoes, all sorts of potatoes we planted. They're going to be ready to harvest in another 2 weeks or so. They're getting big. The leaves are getting big. They're starting to brown over, starting to get flowers. So that's telling me they're ready to go, because then I got to put the sweet potatoes in there. Fig tree, doing well. We pruned it, cut it, because I don't want it to get too high. I'd rather have it be more of a bush than a tree, but that's growing well. Well, there's still stuff being moved around here, so it's still a bit of a chaotic mess. Last year you saw we had loofahs. Here's another loofah. So we got them in the same places. 6 loofahs that will then climb on the trellis. It took over the whole trellis and then just went like a monster and spread its vine tentacles all over the place. So loofah and loofah. And I put more in there just to make sure that it grows, and I might have to put some replacements just in case something happens. So I got replacements I can pop in. The honeyberries did really good in the sense that they're in these containers and they grew and they're still healthy, and we actually had honeyberries on them. So I'm going to find more of a permanent location, but they again do better with a little shade, I think. Let's do more of a walkthrough over here. The other thing that I'm doing is to keep the weeds down. These are cantaloupes here and some artichoke. See, part of when things are uncovered here, you can see that the weeds will grow even in my raised beds, and you may have this issue too. And this tree drops its seeds. It doesn't help. But what I've done, you can see here with my zucchini, I put this black fabric on top of my bed, because all you're doing is growing the zucchini and all this other area rather than grow weeds around it and have to weed that. This will kill everything. So this works out really well. I like this as an experiment. Now you could use mulch too, but that works well. Here's the raspberries, which are coming in nicely. Lots of new growth on raspberries, so we might have some nice raspberries this year. Here's some more of my tomatoes here. I've got them strung up here, and I'll need to string them up a little bit more as they're getting bigger and all that, but they're doing well too. Some nice healthy tomato plants just need to come in, and like I say, look how big they're getting, and just tie them up so that they can get taller rather than too far out, and trim it up and get better aeration and all that good stuff. Here's some peppers. We're putting the peppers here this year. I've got mulch down to keep some of the weeds, but if I would have done it earlier, I would have put the black fabric down and then punched holes for the peppers. So we'll do some more of that here. The blackberries coming through. This is new blackberries from last year, and this one's coming through. Look at this branch here as I'm moving it. There we go. And you can see that the blackberries are getting ripe. Look at that. Look at that one there. Look at this one here. Wow, look how big that is. Get away, bug. I'm going to pick this one. Wow, look at that. That is a big blackberry. We had a lot of rain, so they're ripening fast now. Look at all these blackberries. We're gonna have to come out here, if I don't eat them all just right on the vine. Look at that. Gonna come out here and harvest. Delicious. I got some empty beds that I'm still gonna put some stuff in here too. So there's still a lot more to do in the garden. It's a never-ending thing. So you can see again, Anywhere where there was mulch and weed issues, I've gotten the black fabric down, keep things in control so I don't have to sit there and weed in the garden. I want to have fun in the garden, right? But this is just a little walkthrough, and then, you know, we will start getting it in high gear as the weather starts to get warmer, and hopefully we still get the rain and stuff like that, and we organize it and clean it up a little bit more. But it's getting there. You know, it's a never-ending job when you have a big backyard garden. I got lots of frames here for more containers that I'll set up, so I just have to do that too. So always something going on in the garden. Anyways, that's a good update. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.